All life seeks to grow, and all life seeks to live. Try to kill something and watch it retaliate because it wants to keep its life. You gotta wonder what it is with humans, because we're so advanced, right? We're the highest life form on the planet, right? What happened to humans that so many of them do not want to grow? And the only way the human is going to grow is to learn. And the only way the human is going to learn is to take in information. To take in information that leads to knowledge. The knowledge leads to a comprehension. The comprehension broadens awareness. Awareness gives rise to more consciousness. Something happened to humans, many of them, where they don't want to learn and they don't want to grow. I listened to my own mother nastily say to my face, she's almost 70 years old, I don't want to learn. I want to be entertained. And that's a woman who's a boomer, who's on her way out of life. And I have known her all of my life, and I know that she so largely has never sought to learn anything. And the reason I use it as an example is because I see, and I know now, through having almost 50 years of life on this planet, there are far too many humans that have absolutely no real desire to learn. Thusly, they have no real desire for any growth. And that's a huge problem for the rest of us. For the rest of us. Because these are beings that are functioning against the very laws of nature, if that makes sense, which almost dictates, maybe not, but almost dictates that all life seeks to grow. Having life in a state of stagnation, or in a state of non-growing, you are ultimately in a state of deterioration. So what has happened to the minds, or to the very being of our younger generations, that so many of them do not seek growth? They seek entertainment, video games, cartoons, or whatever else it is on the internet, social media. They seek entertainment and stimuli from those mechanisms versus growth, versus learning, taking in information, gaining knowledge, wisdom. While some of those things can and does happen as a byproduct of simply living, I would suggest to you that a conscious, awakened, sentient being would willfully do those things, would willfully seek to learn, willfully seek to expand their understanding, their consciousness, their knowledge, their everything. Because, well, the people that are in power today are some of the most knowledgeable people on the planet. And unfortunately, they're all wicked, working for the dark side. And look at what they're doing to the mass of us that aren't interested in learning, that aren't interested in growing, that aren't interested in taking in information that leads to knowledge, which leads to growth of consciousness and blah, 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 blah. The people with the knowledge have so mind-fucked the population that they don't even seek to learn much anymore. The vast majority, from so many of them even in my own goddamn age range, that do not seek to learn, that do not seek to grow, that do not seek to evolve themselves. They're just bouncing around life, experiencing whatever happens to unfold in front of them. And that's living in a deficient state when you're not in a state of purposefully growing. Doesn't a plant purposefully grow? Doesn't all other life that we see purposefully grow, seeks to eat as much as it can so that it can live and grow, and all, just in all the ways that life, whether it realizes it or not, it's still kind of wired up. It's kind of the default state when something comes into existence and being that it wants to be. But there's a difference between just being and existing and stagnant and not growing and just, oh, I'm here, versus seeking to grow because you're conscious, you're sentient. And you know that to the degree that you grow will determine, to such a large degree, the outcomes and your experiences within this thing called life. Think about that for a second. So I believe that those that do not purposefully, consciously seek to grow are just stagnant and more in a state of devolving than growing. And they don't even know this because they're not conscious. I wonder how much that plays itself out all over the world. But with all humans, what is it that steps some humans into consciousness that leads the human to a state of wanting to learn, wanting to grow, wanting to expand, wanting to become a better version of themselves in whatever way they can every single fucking day they're alive? What is it that prevents the humans from doing that? And allows humans that even though they're growing physically, physiologically, they're devolving in their mentality and psychology. It's weird when the body's growing physically, but the mind is being retarded and put into a state of degeneration.